of yoga has taught me over the years that the most important aspect of life is life. And Silta chose the topic, living in the moment. And since my husband's death 3 years ago, I have realized there's nothing to do but to live in the moment. When we think too much of the future, we live in fear. When we think too much of the past, we get frozen and we can't move ahead, we freeze. Because we think, if this has happened before, will it happen again? And what if, and what if, and what if? This is my past history. I have too many complexes. If I meet another person, there's too much fear in it. I'd like to start off with a story. There was this great businessman, and he spent many, many months working. And he had his staff around him. And one day, the manager of his business said, "Master, I see you so distraught the last 6 months. Every day you have so many businesses and you are so worried every single day. May I suggest something to you?" I said, "Sure, tell me. Tell me what you have on your mind." And he goes, "Tell me, Master, who ran the world before you came here?" "Well, the universe, God, cosmic energy, whatever you want to call it." "And who will run the world after you leave here?" "Energy, God, universe, whoever you want to call it." "So, why don't you allow this God, energy, universe to run your life while you're in it?" You see, the problem with us human beings is we want to control. We want everything to work out the way we want to work out. This is why all the yogis, the teaching is non-attachment. But we always think non-attachment means being attached to something outside that we can see, material. I think that's the least of our problems. The biggest problem we have is emotional attachment. Attachment to what people would think of us. Attachment to what if we don't perform right. Attachment to failure. Attachment to success. Those are our worst attachments. And how do you lose that? How do you understand that it's just a waste of energy? By simply understanding in your heart and in your mind that we are all going to die. All of us, travelers on this earth, no one escapes. When? We don't know. Look at Amanda at 50. Who would have expected strong, positive, full of energy? For those who did the DT with her, we just fell in love with her energy. And yet her time had come. And what do we remember most about her?
Her laugh.
That's right.
And her laugh.
Do you remember the lunch training? We did a teacher training here, you know, in what was it, 2009, May. And she was in it, and every day she'd come in and say, "This is fantastic, fantastic," you know, the enthusiasm, living it now, you know, it was fantastic. And this is what we, look, the first thing she said, what a nice way to remember her. What did she leave behind? Something fantastic. There's only two things we can leave behind. The spirit of joy or the spirit of misery. And frankly, I choose joy. Life is miserable enough as it is. It is already. Every day, everybody's got problems. Who doesn't? Do you know anybody who doesn't have a problem? Today you have money, tomorrow stock market falls, you're broke. How do you deal with it? One day I had my husband who I was madly in love with, and he finally agreed after 34 years of marriage that he would finally travel with me. Guess what? The moment he agreed, 6 weeks notice, cancer, he died. So, you know, you look at life. It taught me so much, his death, and I really want to honor him and thank him for that. Because through his death, I think I really learned to live in now and make decisions in the now. You see, many people are so scared to make decisions. So many of us are so frightened of change. And when he passed, everybody told me, oh, don't make any big decisions for 1 year at least. In 1 month, I changed homes, I moved, I made quick decisions, sold half my stuff, not sold, gave it most of it away. You know, I saw a young couple who needed plates and sofas and this, take it. Take my car, take it. Do you know, best thing I did? And I lived in a tiny apartment. And I could have gone back home to Hong Kong with a big home. I'm giving you this example because many people go through what I go through in different ways. Where my mother's house, big house, she was also a widow, could have gone back and lived like a queen. And I was contemplating that. But I had to look at what was happening now, that moment. That moment, my daughter, her third child was special needs. She was special. She needed help. She had 3 children. The third one was she had to be carried all the time. We could hardly feed her. I go, how can I leave her, go to Hong Kong where there are so many people, my son is also there, and leave her? The only one that can help her and will help her is me. I can't leave her now. So, easy decision made. You see how you make your decision living in the moment. What is now? Maybe my heart thought I'd go back to Hong Kong, so many people have said, life of luxury, no more cleaning, no more cooking, no more washing, no more worrying about my bills, somebody else can do this for me. But then there was a heart pull, and I've learned in your life, listen to your heart. This is what I've learned, because it gives you great peace afterwards. Hard in the beginning, because the mind and the body always wants to go to that which is easy. But that which is easy in the beginning is not always what is easy in the end. So you look at the situation you have at hand, at that moment, the most selfless decision, one that would benefit somebody the most, and including myself. That wasn't the motive, but I just couldn't leave her. And so I decided to stay, and since then, everything's worked out for me like a flowering, like a budding. I have to thank her for that decision. And she said to me, Mom, I know your life would be so much better in Hong Kong. But it is not true. My life is great. My life is great. And I've learned so much from my special needs grandchild. And then I met all these wonderful people in Spain that we've a new Sangha that I would have never met. So who knows? I had 34 years of my husband looking after all my accounts, all the payments, everything. I never knew. I just had money and give it to him. I never dealt with those things. But you see, when you make decisions, if you base them on fear, oh, I can't do accounts. And I tell you, I was in so much fear. I couldn't even drive. The first time I drove, I cried all the way from getting my new car, because it had to be automatic, couldn't drive stick shift. Neither did I have time to learn, because I was too busy, I had too much work to do, I had to move. I cried all the way home, and felt so sorry for myself. I said I went home and made a promise that I was never going to do this to me again. I didn't deserve it. I didn't deserve to be so miserable. I didn't deserve it. That was not what I was created for. I was created for joy. I was, okay, so I went through a horrible time. I lost my husband. Who hasn't lost? Andrew lost her husband. Silda's lost her husband. I mean, we've all lost somebody so precious to us. What is the big deal? He's free. He's not in a painful body. How selfish am I? And when I scolded myself, I felt better. And I got strong. And it really helped to just make the decision for the moment. And living in the moment is making those decisions that sometimes seem so scary. And you think, I'm never going to get through it. It's too different. It's too many changes. I don't know if I can do it, because that's what I told my son. I've never lived in such a tiny place in my life. He said, Mom, take 24 hours and decide. And I go, if I take longer than that, my son won't get back to his life. He'll feel bad and he'll stay with me. I can't do that to him. So I got up in the morning, I said, this is what I have, this is what I'm going to do. And then you just go with it. Once you make a decision, stick to it. Go with it. Trust. Trust. Though it's uncomfortable, though it's scary, though it's frightening, take that ride. Because it makes you independent. It makes you free. And when you're independent and when you're free, you experience what we call in yoga, moksha. Moksha. Freedom. Yes, it's hard. The tendency for the mind, because the mind will always want to feel sorry for itself. Oh, poor me, the mind will pull you. And yoga is that practice that you say, you think you can pull me? No way. I am spirit, and my spirit is alive in me now. The mind is weak, but I am strong. You say that. It's a lovely thing. I kept on saying that to myself. My mind may be weak, but I am strong. So mind, if you want to be sad, you cry whenever you want. But I am strong. I am spirit. Say it with me. I'm strong. Can you all say it?
I'm strong.
I am spirit.
I am spirit.
You see, in our human personality, we have lots of weaknesses. Normal. We also make lots of mistakes. Normal. Don't worry about mistakes. Don't worry about weaknesses. All normal. Just get through them. Just get through them. And sometimes people say, oh, I'm so sorry. No, nothing to be sorry about. It's life. Everybody goes through hard times. I'm so proud of myself and I can do accounts. I can open accounts. I can talk to bank managers. Wow! Never thought I'd do that in my life. And at 57 to learn that, it feels good. And that's all from taking decisions moment to moment. Seeing the mind with its dilemmas, with its confusions. Seeing it, watching it, and saying, no, I will take the path of the heart. Because for me, all these years, that has never failed. And when it's the path of the heart in selflessness, it has always flowered and made me prosper. When it's the part of possession, what I want for me, I have always failed. And what I want for me, in terms of emotional attachments, they're only attachments anyway. And when I saw my husband die, I loved him so much. He's gone. But I'll always love him. The love will never die. So what lives? I live. You live. We all live now. None of us know how long we're going to be here. Nobody believed, everybody, all the emails I got about Amanda, she's so positive she was going to get through it. The doctors, your husband's so strong, he's going to get through it. He's a strong man. You don't know. We all have our destiny. We all have our time of death. Yes, to have the positive attitude gives you a nice death. And if you have a nice death, guess what? As the mind, so the spirit. So if you set yourself free when you are living, your death is going to be very easy. And Amanda was so easy. For Ellen, I believe you were, I heard from Lakshmi, you were the last one to see her. Were you the last one to see her?
No, there were a couple of people,
Yes.
the last one maybe here, but there were a couple of people with her, nurses, friends who were there that last night also.
Yeah, because I got a message from Lakshmi that I could text her, she would appreciate it.
Yeah.
And then that afternoon she passed. So thank you
I
for
spoke to
passing.
her just before, just
That's
before
right.
that morning.
Yes. So thank you. Because you told Lakshmi that I could send a text. So I sent her a text and 3 hours later she passed. So it made me feel good to follow the moment right away. That's another thing, living the moment. How many times in your life you feel, I need to get in touch with this person right away? Then you want to do it now. Your heart's telling you, and you don't. Why don't you? Then if it does, you don't. You say, I wish I did. So never leave anything for you to regret. And this is the excitement of living in the moment. But it really, really, really means you have to go with the fear. And the only way you can go with the fear is if you have enough faith. And the only way you have enough faith is by knowing the truth. The truth. And the truth is all you have is this moment. That's the truth. Everything else is emotional attachment, material attachment. Anyway, they're all going to go when you die. It's quite funny how attached we get, you know. We know this so well that we're all going to die. And we get so attached. It makes me laugh. It's really nice to talk about death as if it's quite funny. But it is. It's just transition, that's all. It's just from one world to another dimension. But while we're in this world, there is a reason why we're here. There is a reason. Do you understand that? All of us have a purpose. Otherwise we would not be here. We would not be alive. And all we got is this moment. And the decision you make every single second of the day is when the mind pulls you down. Have you read the Bhagavad Gita and have you read it? Or the Living Gita? It's absolutely, maybe one day we'll do another Bhagavad Gita thing, yeah? Because it is actually fantastic. It's fantastic. It really will help you to understand how to live in the moment, how to develop the skills, you know. And Lord Krishna tells Arjuna, what was will always be. What is will always be. What do you fear? What are you fearing? What are you frightened of? Because he has to go into battle, and Arjuna doesn't want to go into battle. He doesn't want to go into battle because the people he has to go into battle with are the people he loves. Why? Because they've done something unrighteous to him. But he doesn't want to fight with the people he loves. But what can he do? Situation is presented to him, and if he doesn't fight for that which is correct and that which is right, he will never feel good about himself. So the first thing you need to also understand, what is your purpose? What is your mission in life? You see, in Arjuna's case, it was very clear. He was born a warrior. That was his gift. He was a great archer. He was great at leading armies. That was his gift. His battle was to win the war of righteousness. So the first question you have to ask yourself, before you can even build up that stamina, that energy, that faith, that fearlessness to live in the moment, is, who am I on this physical plane? Who am I on this physical? What is my personality? What am I good at? What makes me tick? What makes me happy? Not what people will think of me if I do this. Oh, this sounds crazy. I better not do it. It's too strange. It's too odd. I'll be too much of an eccentric. I'll stick out. So what? So what? How many are going to be on your deathbed? So what if you're different? So what if you're a bit eccentric? So what if you want to do something so totally different? If that calls you, if that is your heart. And of course, when you follow your heart, everybody will suddenly come and say, oh, I don't think you can do this. Would you really want to take the risk? Don't you know there is so much danger if you invest this in this business? Oh, don't you know that by doing that you'll be in trouble? And then all your stamina goes. All your courage goes. for that moment you were sure, you knew. Haven't you had moments like that in your life where you know so clearly what you were born to do? And then you get discouraged. Stick with the law.
But that is the other person's fears, trying to project it into you. That happens to me very often. But I'm very determined and I know what you want and it doesn't matter what they tell me. But sometimes I feel that he or she, is projecting his or her feelings to me. But they're not mine, I know what you want and I know that it will be that happened to me so many times, especially when I came to the Algarve. That's one day I tell you the story, it was so funny, because here the mentality is like, no, it's very difficult. Oh, you would never be able to do that. Oh no, forget it, it's impossible. And I was like, I don't think so, I think I can do it, and if you work and you that. But what I feel sometimes is that there is their fears or everything trying to project from yourself. But if you're strong, you just
Absolutely. Absolutely. So build up your strength. Good. Absolutely. So you're strong. Most of us are not so strong. We have to spend a lot of time working on ourselves to develop that strength, to develop it. And we can develop it. You know why? Because in each of us, and that's the magic I learned in yoga, and within each of us there is this light deep in the hearts of all of the lights of all light. We're all part of that great universe. We can all tap, all of us can tap on an energy far greater than what we think we can do. Far, far greater. We are so afraid of our light. This is the problem with many, many of us. So we stick in our dark places where it's comfortable, where it's home, and we say, oh, I'm really quite happy here. And then we have the same problems over, the same mistakes over, and over again. Is everything okay?
No, it might be.
It's not very loud.
Batteries.
It's just the lights are on there. I've got awesome devoted if you need it.
Should we use ours? Okay. Sure?
Yeah, I don't know what that is quite that.
You charges. Do you have yours here?
It's up here in the car. Maybe no problem.
That's fine.
Okay, thank you.
We'll let them have it. Whoa, this is really going to be loud now. Wondering what was going
No,
on.
I was wondering too.
Thank you. I don't have to shout. It's lovely. Can you hear me? Is it better?
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, great.
See all the buttons and nothing was happening.
Okay, thank you. So what was I saying? Does anybody remember? Because I don't.
You were saying we're sticking our places.
Yeah, I'm really quite happy here, accepting the crumbs and not really, this will do.
Okay,
This will do.
this will do.
This will do. It won't really do, but it'll do. It'll do. No, I can't really go bother.
You were talking about when you have the concept or an idea, the whole world will tell you it's not good enough.
No,
This lady started showing
No, I know exactly where I am. I was talking about the dynamism of our spiritual strength. Alright? This is where we derive things from. The universe is full of love. And for me, I think my greatest learning was that this God or this universe in the Vedas or the Upanishads, they call it the Lord of Love. And I know with all my heart and soul that I am so loved, but I don't only know it from you. I know with all my heart and soul that everyone is so loved. The difference is most people don't see it. They don't feel it. So they can't enjoy that energy that is so loving. And that love heals. So the most important work that we have to do in our life, in order to live in the moment, otherwise you cannot. Because life is tough. And it brings great, great pains and great challenges. The only way we can do it is pray for patience. 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 In yoga teachings we call pain that you have to suffer, tapas. It's a burning. And tapas means accepting pain and not causing it in return. Most of us, when we have pain, we either dwell in it or we, deep in our souls, we're angry at the world or we blame something or somebody. The blame has to go out for that pain. But if we can take the pain as a burning, as my beloved master said, as a purification, stay with the pain, cry if you need, suffer if you need, but know that when the pain is over, and it will be over, because it's always over, isn't it, Angela? There's this Lord of love that always helps us when we connect with it, so long as we don't lose it. If we lose that faith and that love, if we have, you see what we shut down when we get pain. We shut down, we do this. We're so scared of rejection. We're so scared of getting hurt again. We literally shut down. And I have learned, if you do not have love in your heart, you cannot love everyone. You cannot. You need to love. And right after my husband passed, the light came from my grandchildren. I go, Granny, we love you so much. Granddad isn't here, so we're going to make you a lovely Valentine cushion, red, and pretend that's Granddad hugging you. How can you not love? How can you not love? And when I loved in the sorrow, I could live in that moment. I could enjoy the warmth of the love and the pain, hand to hand. I understood bitter sweet. As all the great poets write about bitter sweet. But most of us, when there's pain, we shiver, we frighten, we panic, because we don't have that faith and that love that is always showered upon us. All you have to do is patiently sit. Like a fog. It will disappear in its own time. But we want to move things quick, so we try to interfere with the flow of energy. We want to control, so we want to put out, I can do it this way. I can make it quick, or I can do it, or I this, yes, of course. Well, the only thing I learned you can do is make yourself happy. Simply try and make yourself as joyful as you can. I mentioned this last night. The reason why I fell in love with my guru, the first thing I heard him say, it is your birthright to be happy. Before that, I had met many holy people. You have to starve yourself, you have to do this, you have to do this. And I just thought, I used to tell my dad when I was a child, Dad, I don't want this. Doesn't make sense that I should come into life. Even the Bible, it says, go forth and prosper and suffer. Why is suffering good? Why do I think I have to suffer? Suffering comes to us to teach us only one lesson, that we're too attached to this earth, that we're too attached to material things, that we're too attached to everyone, thinking people belong to us. Nobody belongs to us. Everybody is a gift. Everything. And suffering comes just to teach us that. Let it go. Let it go with joy. Let it go. Let it go. It's not yours. You cannot control it. You can never control anything. All you can do is make this moment as best as you can. And this moment, all we can do is now smile. So you all smile with me. Smile with me. Why aren't you? You even have to think about smiling twice. How difficult it is for you to live in the moment. When I say smile, you should just, yes. Again, in our Titi Laku, my niece, when she was here to speak about the practice of contentment. And Sri Patanjali tells us, by the practice of contentment, supreme joy is gained. And she had to do a talk on it for her teacher training. So she sits down and she goes, by the practice of contentment, supreme joy is gained. We all adopted it. And everywhere I speak, I think of her, and I think of that supreme joy is gained by the practice of contentment. Don't constantly think of what you don't have, which is what 99% of people do. I don't have enough love in my life. I don't have a boyfriend. I don't have a girlfriend. I don't. Every day saying I don't, that's exactly what you're going to have. I don't. Think about what you do have. I have a plate of food every day. Yes. I have a bed to sleep on. Great. I have at least one person in this world to love me. Wow. Count what you do have in this moment. And if you look at this moment, we're in a room filled with people who love higher knowledge, who want to live a great life, who want to serve, love, give. How great is that to be in a room with people who want to do that, who want to better themselves? I think this moment is so special. And that's when you think that, then your heart it opens in love. It opens in love. And then you can receive and you can give. Whatever is necessary for you to receive and give. There's nothing to worry about, what you have to give or receive. What is needed will come at that time. And that is the magic of the moment. And this is why it's so important to keep reminding yourself constantly. I am energy. I am soul. I am spirit. Whenever you get bogged down in a problem, and you get so bogged down, but this is my problem, but this is my problem. Yeah, of course, if you repeat it all day, you're going to have it. It's not my problem. It's a problem that has come to me. What happy solution can I put in? What solution? How do I surf this? What surfboard do I buy? Buy the best quality. What's the best quality? The spirit in me. Because nobody can be you. Nobody. Nobody can heal you unless you want to be healed. And for me, I've seen again and again and again, laughter heals, joy heals, loving heals. So if you're the kind of person that's always thinking about what you don't have, repeat to yourself like a daily practice. And I tell you, just do it one day. Just one day. You feel so rich at the end of the day. You feel rich. And as you think, but you really have to know, I'm so blessed. I'm so blessed. Can you say it? I'm so blessed.
I'm so blessed.
Are you blessed?
Yes.
Say it with feeling. Paramahansa Yogananda used to say it with feeling, so that the emotion, the heart, your chakras, your astral body gets the message. People talk about positive affirmations. Every day and every way I'm getting better and better. I'm not getting better, but it doesn't work. Of course it doesn't. Only I put all these things in my board. I'm going to make a million, I'm going to make a million, I am going to make a million. What's the thing on? Not joy, the million. But while they're saying, I'm going to make the million, they're stressed because they're expecting already. They're expecting. The moment you expect, guess what? My master used to say, don't make an appointment or you will be disappointed. The Bhagavad Gita says, do that work that comes to you. Oh, but wretched are those that look for the results. Wretched, he goes. Oh my God, that's a very strong word. Wretched. Is it wrong to look for some results in the work you do? No. You like to do it well. If you love to do your work well, you live in the moment. You're focusing already. But you're not thinking, oh, what are this? Let's say you want to bake a beautiful cake and you master, everybody knows that you bake a beautiful cake. So you're baking a cake and you're thinking, and you love it. Suddenly somebody comes and tells you, oh, do you know, the President of the United States is coming today. You better make that cake extra good. Bound to be a mistake in that cake. It won't be as good as it was. Why? Because the fear has been, the expectation that it has to be good has been put in. So now you feel, fear has gone into it, worry. So whereas naturally you do it so well without even thinking, suddenly the expectation, oh, I feel, what will he think? What will he think? Or what will she think? You see, this is how the looking for the results will upset your equilibrium, your balance, your now. Oh, sure, President, Papa, who cares? What I love to do is bake a cake. Equally for the Papa or the President. Just enjoy my food. Just eat that cake and gain nourishment and love from it. And you know, truly I met somebody like that in Gibraltar. When I used to teach at the Hindu temple many years ago when I first started, they got somebody from India. And his name was Ramu. And this is going back 18 years ago. And they hired him to work in the temple. And one day I saw him cooking. He said, Nalanie, can I speak with you? I said, sure. He said, you know, every time I cook for God. Yes, Ramu? You know, before he said, I was working in a shop in India. And all the time, money, lot of stress, lot of money. My uncle got sick. He has a restaurant. I'm sorry, I'm copying his accent. I'm doing it okay. I didn't realize. He got sick. He got restaurant. So I have to go and help. So I learned cooking. And I saw, I cook. People get happy. They say my food good. So I read Kabir. Kabir is an ancient saint. He was a householder saint. I think he was a cobbler as well. And Kabir is, writes some incredible poetry about living in the now, living as what he was doing as a cobbler. So he said, I read Kabir. And Kabir said that everything he does, he blesses and thinks of the highest. So when I cook now, I just bless the food and I am so happy to cook. I thought, this man really taught me something. He really taught me something. Every time I cook, sometimes, I'm in such a rush. I guess they had so many things, opening a new center. And in the morning I said, I'd love to make a bowl of hot soup in case anybody gets hungry that comes and helps. And then I remembered Ramu. And I was so busy, I said, no, I don't really need to do that. No, your heart is telling you prepare the soup. So prepare it, you see the moment. No, but Nalanie, the security man's coming at 9:30 and that one's coming at 11, that one's coming at 12, and you've got to clean the hall and mop it. No, make the soup. Think of Kabir, think of Ramu. And I made the soup. And I was so glad because so many people had the soup. It was only one small pot. Delicious. Do you know, I'm glad I followed. And who taught me that? Ramu, right? So Ramu came from India, little money, and he continued to cook and cook and cook. And I'm glad to say, today he owns his own little takeaway in Gibraltar, and he makes the most delicious Indian food, all vegetarian, but it's delicious. So, I watched him over how he grew over the years with this love. This man who came from a village in India with nothing. And the amazing thing is, 3 weeks ago I went there and to see him, and not only has he got the restaurant, he brought his nephew from India to work with him, so that his nephew could also go forward in life. So, it just shows, okay, it may have taken 15, 18 years, but his love for his work and his patience brought him his own business, which was his dream. And he cooks with love. And he's so generous. Every time I say, won't charge me, He never said, Mama, please, it's lucky if I pay you. No, you take the food. But Mommy, please, I want you to be wealthy. But he won't let me pay, so I say, God bless your place with wealth. But, it's just the energy that we are all given. We don't use it enough. I feel in our life we become so bitter. Society has changed us. We're always looking for what is going to go wrong. We complain about the financial situation of the world, what is going on. We're constantly in the negative, constantly, because we've been bombarded. And like Saul said, you just got to be like a laser light in the darkness. You've got to be that light in the darkness. You know, again, I quoted Kennedy last night, and I quote him again. Do not ask what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country. And really know that this Lord of love, this power, is not here to punish us. We punish ourselves. That is so clear to me. Sorrow comes to all of us. Take it bravely. Be brave. And that's what our Lord Krishna tells Arjuna. Be brave! In order to follow your dream, be brave. Sometimes in order to follow your dream, you have to give up everything you love and everything you own. But it's okay. Don't fear. It'll come back to you. When you don't fear, it follows you. When you fear, it runs away from you. Gurudev taught me that as well. He said, you know, Nalanie, haven't you seen when women or men chase and chase and chase a woman, they run away. But if they play a little hard to get, they come. It's true, sometimes you have to play that challenge, you know? And the universe is the same. You create a challenge for the universe. Do you think you can beat me? No way. I often do that. When I have a difficult decision or something very difficult decision to make, like I had builders at home for the last 4 months, and something that the builders did, I was not too happy. They were trying to take advantage of me. And I really realize now that I was too soft. You know, it's my weakness. I needed to be hard. So, you know, it took a lot of strength. I went to the builders and I pretended to be so angry, and I said, okay, now I'm playing a part in the play. This is the moment. I'm going to get what I want or I'm not. And I actually told the builder, you know, you lied to me. Oh no, you don't say I lied. I said, of course, you did lie. What do you think I am, dumb? I said, I'm not dumb, but you have lied to me. And listen, if you want the job, fine. You don't want the job, fine. I still have your last few thousand, so I won't pay you. No problem. I'll do it myself and find a cheaper contractor. No, Nalanie, don't do that. And I said, no, you don't lie. And I said, now comes the acting part. Walk out. Because he was trying to say, but Nalanie, you know how people will go into discussion and then they try and drag you down to change your mind? Don't enter, because you know that's your weakness. You know you are too soft. And if you stay here, you'll feel sorry for him. And he's trying to do this to you. Feel sorry? No, don't feel sorry for him. So I did an exit. It's great feeling. You know, so life is like that, even in your tricky moments. You plan it like you're planning a play. Maybe 2 minutes before. Because I just decided 2 minutes before, let me be dramatic. And then after that, he said, no problem, he would cover that. And he would do this, don't be angry. So I've never seen you so angry. I know, because that was really a deliberate play. But it's okay. Everything's working out in the end. It's okay. Anyway, I couldn't control the situation. You know, things get delayed. What can you do? Why to get angry or upset? I just wanted to make a very strong point, which I know that you're trying to take advantage of it. That's all. I made it. Done. And somebody said it was not good. I said, no, actually, he's told me why. He's a really good guy. He really is. But you know, what can you do? Business people will be business people. They will try and do what they can. It's normal. You know? It's just normal. When people are going through difficult times, they will try where they can to make money out of you. I think it's just so normal. But they're really good people. Most people are really good people. You know, he did so much of the job so nicely for me. I'm not going to last minute hurt him just because he was in a difficult position. Normal. We all try. And if you can just think of life as normal, know your weaknesses, know when you're weak, then you can understand when people are weak. But if you don't know your own weaknesses, then you will blame other people for them. Of course, if I'm going to be so soft, I'm the perfect person to manipulate. Whose fault is it? mine. Accept responsibility too. And laugh at yourself. All these years, what have I learned? You laugh at yourself. You make it a joke. Don't take yourself so seriously in the moment. And you find yourself doing it when things, sometimes when I'm doing my accounts and you're doing this and you go, hey, Nalanie, you weren't meant to have this place? Would have been long gone. Okay, relax. 2 minutes, it's gone. It's gone. It's gone. 2 minutes. Not even 2 minutes. 30 seconds. And if it's gone, if I lose the place, I lose it. No big deal. I was fine with a small apartment. I'm so happy there. I'm happy with the big house. If that business and I go to a small apartment again, I'll be very happy again. No big deal. Nothing's a big deal. So long as I can laugh, I can enjoy my grandchildren, I can enjoy people, I can walk on this earth. We can walk on this earth. We are walking on this earth. This is the world we asked to be put in. This is the earth we chose. This is the time we chose to walk in. And I think we're so blessed because this is the time when we can really share the human spirit. People like us who are in the path of the spirit, the path of the gods. This is the time when we really have to build up our strength, work together as one strong light, and shine out there. Don't worry, I know it looks like your whole world is going to collapse, but guess what? You can do it. You can do this. Doesn't matter. What have you got to lose? You've got yourself. For the time you have yourself. And even yourself doesn't belong to you. It's on loan. So you might as well enjoy the loan of the gift that is you, that you can walk at this moment, and you can talk at this moment, and you can laugh at this moment, because tomorrow, we don't know. I watched my sister, 38, running, the brightest of us all, youngest of the 7, the smartest, the most beautiful. From one day to the next, she had a stroke. Couldn't run anymore. Do you know, you don't know what tomorrow will bring. So live the moment. And you have nice moments in your head to remember at the difficult times. You remember good memories. And you become example of force and strength. Who are the people you respect? Do you remember Christopher Reeves when he was paralyzed? And whenever I heard there was an interview when they were going to see him on television, I'd run. Why? There was such a respect for that human spirit. Most of us get so caught up into the day-to-day nonsense. Because sorry to be so truthful, most of the day-to-day is some of it's such nonsense. And we should fill our hearts with the supreme joy, contentment. Even when you're unhappy at that moment, think, I'm so lucky to be unhappy. I know the emotion. I can understand other people. I can understand pain. I can understand pain because I broke my fractured foot twice. I never thought twice about people with crutches. Now as people with crutches, I understand. It's given me compassion. It's not a suffering. It's not a punishment. It's a joy to learn, to grow, When you're focused on the highest growth, these things don't bother you. They're no big deal. Anyway, the body has to deteriorate in one way or the other. It's life. I know for sure I will not be here in even 30 years. So what's the big deal? 30 years will go like this, won't it? Many of us in this room may not be here, even in 10, or 5, or 3, or 2. So take this magical moment and inject it with your love. This is the gift for me, from the gods, to breathe, to talk. That's the only gift I have. I can decide to fill the earth with goodness, and that way help the atmosphere. I can decide to wallow with self-pity and sorrow, which does nothing for the earth's atmosphere. I can do a million postures, yoga postures. I can stand my hand, but without the joy, I am of no use to this world. So it's a choice. Always a higher choice. And this is the whole story of the Gita. We are constantly confronted with 100 negative things. And we have 5 good, strong points. What should we focus on? 100 that drag us down, or the 5 that brings us up? Of course, you have to do battle. The grandchildren ask the grandfather, "Grandfather, talk to us of the spirit." And the grandfather goes, "Well, let me tell you that in your mind, there are 2 wolves that live there, and they're constantly fighting with each other, constantly battling." And the children go, "Oh, grandfather, why?" One of the wolves, aggressive, angry, lustful, greedy, full of greed. And the other one is full of compassion, love, kindness, joy. Grandfather, who wins the battle? And grandfather answers, "The one you feed the most." And that's the one we feed. There is no God or universe punishing us. If that is the case, I don't want to know it. Because even my parents would give me more love than a punishing God. That's not the God I know or want to even believe in. We punish ourselves. There's another story I told last night, which I'll tell today again because it's relevant. There was this samurai, and he was very famous in Japan, and everybody, wow, this samurai comes to town, everybody bows down, etc. And one day one of his friends tells him, "You're so famous, you really need to, this is a great gift from the gods, you should know a little bit about spirit." And he goes, "Yes, I'm really curious. I want to learn what is heaven and what is hell." So his friend tells him, "You really want to learn? There's a monk. He lives in the mountains. Go see him. He can teach you." So the samurai struts and goes up to this monk with his sword and his strong body. And he goes, "Monk, I want to learn about heaven and hell." And the monk goes, You want me to teach you? You're arrogant, you're rude, you have no manners, etc., etc., etc. I refuse to teach you. And the samurai is so used to everybody bowing down to him, got so angry, takes his sword, and he's about to do this to the monk, and the monk goes, "That's hell." And then the samurai sits down and drops his sword, and he goes, "That's heaven." So when we're in anger, we make our own hell. We can blame as much as my family member, this one, that one, that one. Would we accept the anger? It's our hell. We could look at things differently. Okay, this hurts, it's painful. We cannot put out fire with fire, but we can put out a fire with water. We cannot put out anger with anger, but we can put out anger with forgiveness. And letting go. Letting go. What can I do? This has happened. I cannot change it. If I keep looking at the past, I'll get more and more sad. I keep reminding myself again and again of something that I can never change. People come to me, "But Nalanie, this happened in the past." I say, "Can you change it?" No. Again, the same thing. "This happened in the past. Can you change it?" No. So why do you want to keep going on and on and on and on about the same thing? You know it's happened. You cannot change it. What can you do? You can use creative visualization and forgive it. Forgive it. There's nothing else you can do. You have to forgive your soul is sad. Your child in you, as they would call it, is sad that it was hurt. So you do a creative visualization. You take yourself back to that moment when you were so sad, when you felt so hurt and so much pain was caused to you. And then you see yourself as you are now. So strong. You made it. You got through it, didn't you? You're here now. You did get through it. So what are you complaining about? Why are you still living that child? And you go in your mind to that child and you hug that child. Say, look how well you turned out. Despite all the problems, look how well you turned out. And give that child a big hug. And then you feel the love in you. And then you get strong. You let it go. You forgive it. You forgive it. The only way forward is forgiveness. When we hold on to the past, we never move on. And then sometimes we think, what's going to happen tomorrow? I really don't know. So many people go to mediums and they go to people who will tell them. And you know, I think they're there for a reason. And you're really in need, yes, they can help you. But unfortunately, many people start to depend on them and lose their power. And start to design a world that may not even happen. You know, I never forget it, one of our TTs here in 2005, I think it was, I think it was 2005, one of our students in that TT, I'd known her to always be a great speaker and whatnot. And it was her turn to give a talk. And she froze. And I was really surprised, because she's been teaching for many years. Why has she frozen? And I went outside after she said, what's happened? Why did you cry? Why did you fall apart? You've been teaching so many years. You should be better than most of these people here who haven't taught at all. And she goes, you know, Nalanie, the other day I went to see a regression therapist. Yes, so what's the big deal? She goes, that therapist told me that in my last life, in one of my lives in the 15th century, I was a doctor, like a shaman, and I spoke out for women. I spoke out for women, and I taught them how to use healing drugs, and I taught them how to use herbs to help themselves and how to get strong. But because I spoke out for the women and I taught them another way to be, the men did not like it. So to punish me, they started taking all these women and started to burn them. And I was told that it was because of me so many women died. So today, when I tried to speak, I was so scared. What if people die because of me? So I went, hello? She goes, what? What century are you living in?
Yeah, exactly.
Is anybody going to come and kill me or kill all the people in the room because you are talking? So wake up. You were born to come to this life to talk, to share your power, and now you can do it freely. That's your gift. For the strength you had. Why do you have to look at it negatively? You see how we decipher information? I don't blame the regressionist therapy. I blame our own minds for the way we look at things. So I said, that's precisely, you've been given a second chance, and now you can sing and say, I'm going to really lift the woman of the world now, and we can do it. So then next time she came, she could talk again. Do you see, I realize, you see, sometimes we're told very powerful things, and we're not strong enough to take them. And they play in our mind. And while they're playing in our mind, we have created a picture of how it should be. We haven't allowed the divine energy to flow. And you know, at any moment, you can change your destiny. The Bhagavad Gita says it so clearly. Just as fire burns fuel into ashes, so your destiny can be painful. You can learn it by the way you react to it. And you know, John so kindly gave me this gift. Sorry, I dropped it. It was so clumsy of me. And it says, make me an instrument of your peace. And for me, this is my prayer every morning. Make me your instrument. But what kind of instrument? An instrument of light, an instrument of peace, as much as I can, possibly can, because that's all I can leave behind. I cannot leave, I don't want to leave sorrow behind. When I'm unhappy, my whole family suffers. Why would I want my family to suffer just because I'm sad? If I'm sorrowful, they don't deserve it. They can live their lives well when they see me happy. My son often calls me from Hong Kong, Mom, I'm so sorry, I'm not alone, God is with me. I said, you should be really happy, your mom's getting strong, she's learning to do things on her own. Why do you feel guilty? Go enjoy your wife and your children. Hong Kong is the city for you. You're not meant to be here in Spain. You're dynamic, you need the city. I said, yeah, sometimes it's difficult, but I learn. I'm so happy to learn. If I have nothing to learn, why would I be alive? And every day, it's an excitement, it's an adventure. What do we have need to learn today? What? I think I love that. You know, when my master said to me, actually said to a group, because of yoga teachers, because you know, yoga teachers, we can get really really big at it. And he said, who do you think you are? You think you know it all these days. All of you talking as if you know everything. This, I know. He said, don't you know that even the goddess Saraswati, is an Indian goddess called Saraswati, she holds a mala bead in one hand and a book in the other. If the goddess is still learning, who are you to think you know it all? And you know what? So nice not to know it all, because life is an adventure. You know it all. I said, I know this and I know that. There's nothing to learn. But for me, he also taught me a great lesson. He said, when I went through a period where all I wanted to learn is books, workshops. And he said, drop it all, because I got so confused. I got so crazy with all these things. Gurdev, but this teacher says it this way, and that teacher says it this way, and this one says it yet another way. Oh my God! And then he said, drop all your books, Nalanie, and study life. And I listened to him. I started looking at people and learning from them. What about them I didn't want to be, and what qualities in them that I loved. Take the qualities and build them in myself. The things that I loved most about people, take that into me. So from that moment, every single person became a teacher. Good or bad teacher, still a teacher.
There's a sense in this being now that it's going to sound a little strange. It doesn't really feel like it wants to read or learn. It just wants to rest in the self. That there's only this sense of silence inside.
That is the best. That's the highest sense. Because when there is a sign that you just want to sit in silence, there is a great shift in your energy field. And you need that silence to shift something. And you rest in it. But you will see, because we live in this world, and we live in this life, even the desire for silence sometimes ties up.
It's almost like...
Don't even be attached to it.
Yeah.
Even that. But when you get that feeling of stillness, it's very lovely.
seems to be no, I mean, it passes, but there seems to be no feeling to look to even teach, you know. I mean, I don't call myself a yogi, I call myself an asana teacher. It's very different. I'm nowhere near to being a yogi, but there's a sense though that when I find myself picking up some of the spiritual texts, I almost just want to close them immediately and just go in.
Good girl.
And I don't,
Good
I mean,
girl.
it's confusing right now.
Well, good. This is a very good transformation period. Because again, in the Bhagavad Gita, it says, to a person, a wise person, scriptural books or spiritual books are as useful as a reservoir during the time of a flood. Do you understand that? During time of flood, do you need reservoir water? No. So many times, as spiritual people, we get into a space of knowing. We do get in a space. I think all of us get into a space where we just know. We just know. But then the world shifts us. And you think, oh, Sri Patanjali said Swadhyaya, study of spiritual books. But Sri Patanjali is writing a map. Once you know the map really well, you can throw it away. Once we know the way to Quinta really well, we don't need to look. We don't need to look on the internet. We know the way. Many of us know, but we think, oh no, maybe we just have to do this extra. You know, it was like once somebody asked Gurudev this question, I don't know, Lakshmi, Shanti, am I going over time?
I've got like 5 to 8 into it. 8 o'clock we're finishing Silt, is that right?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. we
Okay,
know
thank
what
you,
it
just so
is.
you know. Thank
So,
you.
is it 5 to 8?
That's what I've got, Miss Claude, unless my clock's
Thank
wrong.
you very much.
More or
Yes,
less.
it is.
Yes, thank you.
It is. So, I don't know what I was going to say.
Maps and things, getting somewhere.
Yes, you know, once you know, get strong in the knowing. And that's when the silence will come in. The whole world will try to drag you away from that knowing. They will. And they'll tell you you think you're so big-headed because you know what you want. But if you're really strong in that knowing actually makes you more humble. Because when you know, you know, you know, you know nothing. All you know is this moment. Really, that is the truth. I've heard so many people give predictions in my life, people of high caliber. I've seen so many predictions go wrong. I realized nobody knows. I remember as a child, I read in the newspaper, end of the world. Did you ever read that? I think it was written in 1960-something. Big headlines in Hong Kong. I remember didn't sleep for 3 nights, then it was like, end of the world. I'm really wrong. How many times have we heard it? No, it's 2012, end of the world. I'm thinking it's the beginning of the new world. That's the way I'm looking at it. Somebody, oh no, what do you think? Yeah, things are going to go into storm. Exciting. Now, this is where I can use the skill that I've been given. I can enlighten people. I can make them see that they have lights. What is my skill? Telling people that they have light. That's what I've learned I can do. So I'm telling you, you have light. Use that light and use that skill to help more people. If more of us do it, we generate like, wow, it's just going to be so incredible. A ripple turns into a pool of love and kindness, but we cannot spread it unless we see it in ourselves. And that's all we have now. And that's what I've learned. Everything is hearsay. That's why sitting in the silence is great, because there is nothing to do. You will be guided as what to do. You will be guided. If you can trust that, you will be guided. And sometimes you just don't know what to do. Sit with it and say, when the time comes, you know what? I'm not useful now. I will sit and enjoy my love. I'll sit and enjoy my friends. I'll have a party until I'm told what to do. Oh, I have to do. I'm wasting my life. Nalanie, I can't find my mission. Blah, 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 blah. Do what you're doing now well. Is that all I have to do? Yes, and love it. Because if you love what you do that you don't like to do now, you will pass your test and go on to something better. That's what I learned from my life, working in a shop, complain. When I stopped complaining and stopped loving, was I allowed to stay? No. My husband scolded me so much about my yoga, I still kept on going. Finally, when he realized he loved it and said he would travel with me, he learned his lesson. He went. Do you know? It's life. It's almost like we come to learn certain things. When it's learned, goodbye. So not goodbye yet, so we've looked this exciting energy to receive every day, and that's the adventure. And no 2 days are the same. Every day is exciting. Even when it's quiet and you have time to be in silence. You must love it when you cook for, what do you say, 45 people a day?
Yeah.
So when you finish, feel like Ram will put all that magic in the food. And then you're done. Enjoy rest in the evening, watch a really nice DVD, and enjoy it. The other day somebody came to my house, I didn't know you liked television. I said, I love it. Why? What do you find it so strange? Oh, I thought yogis don't watch TV. I said, really? I love it. I never knew that. Where did you hear that from? I love it. I have fun. I have fun with my kids on Saturday night with X Factor. It's Saturday night. It's great. They love it. Okay, it's silly and people make comments. Is it this not good? Advertising money. That's their problem. I'm not getting involved with that problem. I sit in my sitting room. I see my kids laugh. I see us all rooting for the good singer. I see a person given a chance to sing in the world and make a hit. Wonderful. Everything else is sour grapes. That's how I see it. You like it? You don't like it? It's your problem. So if I don't become a yogi in your eyes, it's your problem too. I'm very happy. You think I'm going to sacrifice watching X Factor to make you happy? But if I don't watch it one Saturday, I'm also equally as happy. I'm so happy doing this too. So the magic is loving every moment as it comes. Don't get attached to ideas. Yogi should be like this. TV is bad for you. You know, I watch the news. You know why I watch the news? And I love it? So I can pray for those people suffering. I say, oh my God, these people are really warped. Let's pray that they get some light. And I sit there, please have light. All these politicians, can you please see the light in you? Please, can you stop this nonsense? If you don't want to stop it, at least let light come into your life. Let light come into your life. And that's not why I love to watch the news. I try to watch every day, but I've been so busy recently, I haven't had time. But I feel, oh, I haven't said my prayer for the world, because it reminds me to pray for the world. It's all what we do with our moment in time. Do you see? It doesn't matter what people think. It really doesn't. In the end, you have to answer to one person, your God. Whoever your God is, whoever you choose it to be, Jesus, Krishna, energy, light, it's your choice. You have to answer to that at the end of the day, nobody else. So make sure you live your life happily, joyfully, and you can only do that when you become an instrument of peace. So we'll finish off with the song, because it's just, I know we always sing it here, but you just love it. And since John gave me this lovely track, I'm going to ask Shanti.
We've got some paper booklets with us. I'll tell you if you want to join in.
And Shanti, will you? Because I really don't sing very well, but Shanti sings well now. Another thing, she has been, yes.
Can I just ask one question?
Sure, you can ask your question.
We spoke about that we had hundreds of negative things pulling us down, but there were five things to help us. You didn't say what the five were.
Okay, because there were 5 brothers against 100 evil stepbrothers, right? So the 5 brothers each had their quality. The first brother, Yudhishthira, was so good, so kind, so loving, and all the people honored him because of his goodness and his generosity. But even in him, there was a weakness. He had a weakness for gambling. So, then you have the second brother, which is Bhima. He was strong and fearless. He did not fear anybody or anything. And his physical strength was incredible. So we need physical strength and mental strength. The third one, Arjuna, was in the middle. He was neither so good nor so bad. But he was a great warrior. He was great at archery. He was just balanced in the middle. And the last two were twins, Sahadev and Nakula. They came of the same mother, because these brothers had two mothers, right? And again, they had all the artistic skills. They had skills in all the arts, all the fine arts, and they had skills in archery as well. So they were good in everything they did. So those were the 5 brothers. And those 5 things are what we have inside of each of us. Good question. You know, nobody's ever asked me that before. First time. And those brothers represent that. For me, I think in our generation, I think we lack a lot of courage to be ourselves. I think we really need to work on that. And goodness, when we're scared to be good, people are scared of rejection. Or what if people laugh at me and they call me a goody? Okay? We're scared to shine that light. We need to be brave, to be good. It's good to be good. There is a lot of goodness. Yes?
Just one more. Do you have at the end of the day that sensation like, yeah, you did a lot, but like to me, I love doing lots of things and I'm very organized and I want, well, you know, I have Santi and I want to have the house tidy and the bed and I teach, as you know, so I keep studying and doing my practice and it's like there's never time to settle off. Sometimes at the end of the day, it's like, oh, right, setting. And I feel like one thing is taking me to other and I'm doing this and I think, oh, I have to do this as well and I have to do that as well. I'm not complaining. I enjoy it. But do you think it's okay to do that, or I should do like less?
No, in life sometimes when you are in that creative mode, it springs you. There's so much you do. You want to do everything well. Yeah. And we really do have to take time to stop, and that's why I love the TV programs, because they stop me. And I love my grandchildren, because they stop me, because if it wasn't for them, maybe I wouldn't stop. And the meditation in the morning, my 2 hours every morning, it stops me. So those are the silent, I need the silent time, because I know my every day is crazy, every day. But then there are the joyful times that I make for myself. People say I don't, but I do. And if I really feel like going to a movie, I love the cinema.
Yeah, like me too. That's why we're listening to you and thinking, wow, that's like me. Because you have these at 9, these at 11, but then like last weekend, I'm not very TV. I just turn the TV for Santi when I'm feeding him in the morning. But this weekend, maybe because the summer just ended and I work like a crazy person, I said to Sarah, you know what, I'm just going to lie down in the sofa. Don't anyone even look at me. And I was like, you know, I said half movies, then another half movie, and I didn't move like for 5 hours. And I was enjoying it, you know. And I'm doing the meditation in the night because it's easier for me. And that's also helping me.
Good. I think meditation on a daily basis is very important. For me, it's my lifesaver.
Yeah.
Because it connects me to my God every day. My conversations with the divine being, within me or where it is, I don't really think too much anymore. I just know I'm not alone. And I need that time I still need that time. Just silence. Kind of like what Tina said, that silence. It's quiet. And that is my rest time. I think if you do a lot, you need to do that. I think you burn out otherwise. Even in the spiritual world, I see many spiritual people, they burn out because they try to do so much. And you just can't do it all. And that's the other thing, tell yourself I can't do it all. That's it. Sorry. Sorry, I just can't. I'd love to do it all. I can't. And that's it. This is my time for my grandkids. This is time for my friends. this is time for this. I can't do it all. You expect me to do it all the time, I can't. I need that time. That's it. Simple, make it simple. But when you're feeling that, then immediately get lazy. Practice a little tamas. See, all the goodness are useful for some reason. Nothing is bad. It's our interpretation of everything that makes it good or bad. It's our interpretation. Allow yourself to rest. And that rest also, when you're enjoying the TV, sometimes I go, oh, this is so nice, I'm so lazy. Right now, the people who work so hard, enjoying my quiet time. It's not really quiet, but it is quiet. Yeah, so yes, you understand. You see, everybody goes through the same thing, and then we put all this guilt in and these crazy things, and God is judging us as if there's a person up there looking at us and telling us, it's crazy. You know what that person is? Our own minds. It's so crazy, we're so childish. Anyway, it's fun being a human being, isn't it?